Questions for Jaylen? Over on your left.
Hey, Jaylen, we was just talking to Ime about Marcus's leadership on this team, and he's obviously kind of put himself in that leadership position since, you got here, and really everyone's gotten here on this team. Have you just kind of seen him evolve as a leader? I know sometimes he can get into you guys, sometimes he's telling you guys he loves you. Just, what's the sweet spot he's found as a leader here, you think?
I think that we all just got comfortable with each other through experience. We've been playing together so long, so you learn each other's tendencies and each other's traits and how to talk and how to speak to each other and how to, basically just be a better teammate. And I think that has been probably the biggest contribution because over time you learn, you make mistakes, you argue, you fuss, you fight, but once you've been together for so long with a group, with a core group, and you've been in the Celtics organization as long as Smart has been, you find different ways to be an example, and I think that's what he's done.
Tim on this right.
Hey, Jaylen, Tim Reynolds with the AP. It was as recently as the bubble season. There were only 7 black head coaches in the league, and Darvin's hiring makes it 15, which is the most ever at one time. I'm curious, everybody in the bubble from Adam Silver right on down the line said change was going to have to happen. And the league, the hiring has reflected some changes in some thinking or some evolutions in some thinking. I'm curious how much that matters to you and how much you think that matters to players as a collective.
If you're asking me, I don't understand what took so long, to be honest. I think that, of course, now it's a great thing to see, and you see a lot of coaches that are getting the opportunity to flourish in these moments. Ime is a product of that. First year head coach in the finals, which is I don't know how many times that's been done before, but just overall, I think that's just an example, and not just in the NBA, but in our society as a whole. Just opportunity is important, and a lot of times we look at like things like that as more so. What's the words I'm looking for? There's things that systemically go on that keep people out of positions that may go unnoticed, like opportunities, et cetera. But those make the biggest differences in the world. Not being able to go to school, not be able to get in school, not be able to get jobs, not be able to get houses, not be able to do things that, you should have the right to do, obviously is important. So, of course, this is the NBA, and we're talking about that. And so, but I think that can be related to a grand scheme of things that kind of goes on in America.
Adam in the back.
I think you were like in high school when these guys made the finals for the first time. What stood out to you, like watching? You see a group of guys in their 20s, like you are now, with this team, making that run and then sustaining it over all these years. What kind of stuck out to you? And what kind of almost blueprint do you think that possibly could be for you guys?
One, just watching those guys first was like, pretty cool to see. Between Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they're probably the most winningest basketball players in this last 10 years era. So watching, learning, studying, being here at Cal, at Berkeley, going to a lot of games, being on the floor. Nick Kerr was my teammate, which was Steve Kerr's son. So long before I got to the NBA, or before I got to the NBA, I got to talk to those guys, et cetera. So coming into the league, just knowing that I wanted to be in that position, knowing I wanted to build, that type of locker room environment that, you could sustain winning. And luckily, we've able to find some recent success, being able to go to conference finals and finally being able to get over the hump and making it to the finals. So I'm excited about the future.
Gary on your left.
Reports that you signed with Kanye West's company, and can you confirm that? And you don't do anything without seriously thinking about it. So what goes into that, and how does that help your brand? How does that help you overall?
It's confirmed, and it was time. For me, like I said, anytime I'm making a life decision, I contemplate, I think about things deeply, and from what I want to do, the missions I want to get accomplished, it was the right decision. You know, people have concerns or critiques about et cetera, but in the world we live in, there's concerns and critiques about any and everything. I feel like this is a good moment for me in my particular life, and I'm excited to build and create and do things that I've always imagined I wanted to do on the court and off. So I think it's a beautiful collaboration, and I'm excited.
Jeff in the middle.
Jeff Zilgett, USA Today. Jaylen, the other night, Jason referenced how people had mentioned that maybe it was a good idea to split, Jaylen and Jason and maybe trade one of them. And Jason had mentioned that instead of fracturing, you guys became closer. I wanted to know how that happened and what about both of your personalities allowed it to happen?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I think that we've been able to win in our career, before. Last year, obviously things didn't work out, et cetera, for other reasons. But this year, I didn't feel like it was because of the way we played basketball. I just think that they didn't come together at the right time. Like early on in the season, I was injured. I missed about 15 games. And, the narrative isn't going to say that. They're just going to say that you guys lost. It doesn't matter what the excuse is. We had a first-year head coach. We were trying to figure it out. And, we play in a city that it has no patience or for any excuses. So we didn't make any. But, as things started to come together, we got healthier. We made a couple moves in the front office that were, vital for us. And things started to fall in line. And I think that's what, if you ask me, that's what I believe. But you ask somebody else, they might say something different.
Last one right here.
Jaylen, to kind of follow up on that, you guys were close in the playoffs the last couple of years, but like, do playoff shortcomings over multiple seasons like that, does it make you question anything you're doing? Does it make you change, I don't know, maybe how you work out, work ethic, stuff like that, or does it make you question anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I've always had unwavering faith, even in the midst of situations that look like, like things are about to go in a direction that nobody wants to go in. I've always had faith that, in this group, in this organization, and in myself, that we'll be all right. So in those moments where we lost, I knew that we had so much to learn. I knew that I had so much to learn. So if anything, it was more encouraging to learn from my mistakes, to get better for the next year. I didn't have any time to question myself or question, what was in front of me, because my belief was so strong. So early in my career, I mean, I'm 5-6 years in. I haven't done too much questioning about anything really.
Thank you. Thanks, Jaylen. You're good.
Well, thank you.